Hi, Nadeem here from Smart Riding. One of the other things I'm into besides the tech stuff for the bikes and bikes themselves is detailing. Now, I tend to do quite a lot of bikes and all the peripherals such as helmets and stuff. Now, this is one of my helmets. Now, what I tend to do is once a year, I will clean them up thoroughly and then I will polish them to get rid of all the scratches and stuff that they pick up across a year, across the visor and stuff and the rest of the helmet. This one has got quite a few scratches here and there. And the easiest way to do it is with a polishing machine. Now, I've got a professional machine. This is the Flex PXE 180, which I think in euros is about 400 euros maybe. Probably in dollars, probably about 500 or something. But you don't need a machine that is this expensive. You can just buy a cheap machine. You can pick them up even on AliExpress for like $30, $40. The only difference between those machines and something like this is that the vibrations are going to be harsher and stuff, and you'll feel it in your hands a little bit more. But if you're only doing, your own helmet or your bike a little bit, it's not enough to worry about. For me, doing it professionally, and I can be doing quite a few bikes and stuff, it does make a difference for me. So, but I think I've got about 8 or 9 different polishing machines, and at any given time I've got about 300 or 400 pads and lots of different compounds, etc., etc. But for yourself, all you need to do is just buy any machine with a 3-inch attachment and something that will either take a 2-inch or a 1-inch. Now this is a 2-inch. This is the attachment itself. Now that comes off. You can usually buy the attachments for the different machines as well. So generally for the bikes, I tend to use 2-inch and 3-inch. I've got 1-inch as well, but for this, I don't need the 1-inch one. But it's quite simple to do. And if you can get the hang of this, doing the helmet, then you'll be able to do your bike as well. First thing I'm going to start with is just giving the visor and the rest of it a bit of a clean. Now here's a bit of a tip. This is just normal glass cleaner. Now it's the kind of blue stuff, the blue liquid ones that you can get. Most of them are the same. The reason this is good to do this with just now is that glass cleaner has a high percentage of alcohol in it. So it will take off any grease and other things off the helmet, as well as clean up the visor area and the rest of it. So it's very good to have. And also, once you've done the polishing, you can use this to remove any residues of compound. So I'm just going to clean up the visor and stuff of this first. Give it a good clean. I mean, you can take the visor off and everything as well if you want to. I actually had the visor off on this about 3 or 4 months ago, so I don't want to do it again just now. But it has got a few scratches here on it, but I can take them off without removing the whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to start with the visor because it has got quite a few scratches on it. Now I'm using a 2-inch pad, and this is quite an aggressive pad. So this is the one I'm going to start with. Now the compound I'm using is 3D1 Hybrid. Now this is the compound I use for most things, doing cars, bikes, just about everything. And it's available in most countries. You can get it's a US company, 3D1, so you can get it in the US, you can get it in Europe, and you can get it in the UK, and just about everywhere else that I know of. But let's get a little bit of this on. It's quite easy to do. It's not difficult. You don't need to worry about it. A lot of people do. They think it's going to be really difficult to do. It isn't. It's just patience and time. as I'm doing this, I can still see there's quite a lot of scratches there. So I'm going to go over once more before I actually wipe the compound off and check it properly. Okay, so that's the second set of passes with the aggressive pad. Right, it's looking better. Let's get the torch on it, the flashlight. Yeah, it is better. It's better than it was, but I'm still not there yet. So one more time with the aggressive pad. Okay, let's have a look again. Generally, the visor is tougher to do than the actual rest of the helmet, the paintwork side of it. That usually shines up a lot easier, faster. Because the plexiglass tends to be quite tough compared to the, the paint jobs that these have on them. Another go. Okay, so we're getting there. So now I'm going to change the pad over. Slightly less aggressive. Okay, let's get the glass cleaner on it. That's looking a lot better. So with moderate scratches, it's taken about 4 sets of passes to get it to this. I mean, I could go over it another couple of times and refine it more, but I'm not going to just now. I want to get on and show you how to do the rest of the helmet. So I'm going to start with this side first because this was the worst. There's quite a few scratches here. I'm going to stick to the orange pad, which is a medium to aggressive pad, just slightly above medium. It's just this area here. And the reason this area has been getting scratched here is because I put this helmet in my pannier. And it's the BMW panniers, and inside it's got little rivets and things, and it's been catching on and scratching it here. Let's get a bit more compound on it. Okay, this side's looking a lot better than it was. It was pretty badly scratched up here, so most of it's gone. There's a couple of small bits left, but I can live with that. So the rest of it's the same. It's a bit of compound. Just do small sections at a time. Ideally, you want a time when you've got some time on your hands. You just want to sit for an hour and a half and just do this. Okay, I've just got the visor to do. Again, I'm not taking it off just now. I'll just do it on. Normally I will take it off as well. But like I said, I mean, I did this helmet not that long ago, so I don't want to go overboard just now. Okay, so that's the polish stage done. So what I'm going to do now is just go over it with the glass cleaner again, just to get any residues of the compound off. I mean, the 3D one is water-based anyway, so there's no oils in it and stuff, but still, it's still always a good idea to do this. Because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to put some ceramic on the helmet. I'm using our Coating Farm bike ceramic, which is designed for bikes. Actually, you can use this in the entire bike, including the engine. Everything is heat resistant and everything. So this one lasts a year. So it's just spray on. It's really, really good to have. And I think at some point I'll do a detailing video on my bike, on my GS. It's going to be due one come end of summer, so I'll do that as well. I mean, all this equipment, our bikes, helmets, etc., they're expensive, so we should look after them. That's what I think anyway. I know there's a lot of guys don't agree and they think that GSs and stuff are there to be abused and kept filthy as possible. Unfortunately, I don't agree with that. So I'd rather my bike was clean. There we go. So that's the cleaning done and the polishing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a shorter nap cloth because these are better for getting ceramic on and off. This is a 380 GSM cloth. You can use the 500s, but they're too thick and they mop up too much of the ceramic. You don't want that. You want to go onto the surface of whatever you're trying to coat. So slightly, thinner cloth for this. All right, I'm just going to spray it liberally. Give it a second. I'm just going to buff it in. Take your time when you're doing this. There's no rush. Don't try and rush it. So this will make it water repellent as well on the visor. So if you go through rain, it'll just whoosh off with the wind. I mean, generally I reapply it every couple of months anyway on the visor because the visors tend to take a beating because you're always scraping stuff off them like insects and things. Okay, let's do the top. Let's just spray all of it, might as well. Right, that's the whole helmet sprayed now. Now I just need to buff it in. For me, there's something satisfying in looking after your equipment like this. It also means you can check your helmet for any nicks and dents and things if you think it's past its sell-by date now and you need a new helmet. This is when you'll find out, because you're checking every millimetre of it. I mean, this is a AGV AX9. I've had this for 3 years now and it's still fine. But again, I mean, I've not used it much this year, to be fair. It's maybe had like about 3 or 4 weeks use. Because I'm rotating between about 3 or 4 helmets. And that's it done. Simple as that. It takes a bit of time. It's going to take you about 40 minutes or so, maybe longer. If you don't want to get a polishing machine, you can do it by hand. If you get lighter cloths, same as this, like 380 or 350 GSM, it's just going to take you a while. Like I've done a visor before by hand, something that was a bit worse than this, and it took me about 2 hours. it's up to you. I mean, you can sit down in front of the TV and watch something and just keep rubbing and getting everything off the entire helmet. So you can't do that if you don't want to buy a machine. In Europe, I keep seeing TikTok ads or TikTok videos saying that Lidl has got polishing machines in at about €30. So you may want to check that out if you're in Europe. Rest of the world, there's plenty of these machines on Temu and AliExpress. They're not expensive. This is a cordless one, but you don't need a cordless one. Again, cordless ones are going to cost you more. You need a corded one. Corded ones are fine. I mean, I do this professionally as well, so I tend to buy professional level equipment. So, but at home, you're going to use a machine like this maybe 4 or 5 times a year, whereas I may be using it 6, 7 hours a week, just a small machine in amongst all the other machines I use. So I wouldn't worry about buying a super expensive one. Just buy whatever you can and buy whichever pads you can. Just make sure you get like a aggressive, a medium and a finishing pad or whatever. But that's all you need. 3D1 compound. If you want to get the ceramic, this one is a Coating Farm bike ceramic. As I said, you can do your entire bike with this, including the wheels, exhaust, everything, engine, and it will make everything water repellent. So it's heat resistant to 1,000 degrees as well, this one. Anyway, I'll just finish up just showing you what the helmet looks like now compared to what it was at the beginning.